Hello there guys, welcome to the channel Talking with J Spirit. On today's video, I'm giving you my top 10 overlooked and underrated movies in my opinion. Don't forget, I haven't seen every movie in the world, so I may miss some out, and there may be some I think maybe a little bit more deserving on this list than any. I didn't want to add too many to the video. I've already got 7 honourable mentions and 10 other movies for my top 10 of course. So I'm going to do a lot more videos like this one, start going from the 1990, 91, 92, go all the way through, all the way up to 2019 in the coming weeks, and do the underrated, overlooked and also overrated movies. So stay tuned on the channel for that. If you like the sound of that, please do subscribe and hit the bell. But of course, don't forget to let me know your overlooked and underrated movies in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my ones as well. That'd be great. I'd love to hear your movies in the comment section of course. But without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Coming in at number 10 guys, it is the movie that came out in 2000 called Dinosaur. Obviously this is a fantasy thriller children's animation movie which was so great, and the reason why it was so great because it changed animation moving forward. The director Ralph Zondag actually done a great job with this movie, and I really enjoyed this as a child. But if you look at the ratings are really poor from the critics. I normally like to look at obviously IMDb, Metacritic and obviously Rotten Tomatoes as my main critics, as you guys know if you watch my movie reviews and stuff. So they're the ones I'm going to be looking at, but also Google users. That is generally people in general who like it, and 86% Google users actually like this movie. So it just goes to show it's generally a liked movie. Now if you look at the budget for this movie, it was $127.5 million of course, and the box office it made $349.8 million, so it done really well at the box office. There was no excuses about the movie in general, the production, because this really changed animation moving forward in the animation genre of course. So it's obviously about dinosaurs. There's some really great love storyline in there, and yeah, it's just such a great movie. But what did it get rated? It got rated a 6.5 on IMDb, it got rated a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 56% on Metacritic, which I think is really poor for such a great movie, which I'm sure I'll show my kids one day and they'll really appreciate it as well. Coming in at number 9 guys, it is another animation fantasy action adventure kids animation movie. It is absolutely great. It is Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Now this movie was so special through my childhood. This really started making me really enjoy animation as a kid. This really made it more adventurous as well, more than any other animations around the time, because it was about a story of a young man being an adventurer at the Atlantis, obviously with a group of daredevils, and they're basically going through the Atlantis trying to find these artifacts and stuff. And it was just a fun adventure for me as a young man, young boy. I was just really obviously adventuring and looking forward to stuff like this, and the storyline is really heroic and stuff, and it just makes you feel that sort of kid young age again of course. But yeah, this movie was really great, and really again the critics reviews are just poor, really is. And if we start off with the Google users, 94% like this movie on Google, so it just goes to show you a lot of people love this movie. But the ratings from IMDb 6.9, 49% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it says on here Empire 2 out of 5. That's an extra one I'll give you guys, but the Metacritic rating is a 52. Again, it's just like an average movie when it really isn't. It's such a special movie for the animation. It got nominated for 14 awards, winning 2, so it done really well in terms of everything really. But looking at the box office again, obviously it had a budget of 120 million. Looking at the worldwide gross, it got about 186 million, so it made budget, it made obviously profit and stuff, and a lot of people generally really liked this movie. I don't see what's wrong with this movie. I'll generally, again, just like obviously Dinosaur, would show my kids this and generally would still sit down and watch this and enjoy it today. Coming in at number 8 guys is a great comedy movie. This came out in 2008. It is Step Brothers. Of course this was going to be a great comedy movie. When you think of the cast, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, they're just great together. They built this brotherhood, friendship and bond on the screen, and they've just done so great with this movie. Really, this in my opinion is one of my favourite comedy movies to watch. I love that stupidity comedy which you could just sit on and just really laugh at people, because that's what type of person I am. It's quite bad, I know, but it's really just makes me giggle, like Dumb and Dumber. That's the similarity to this movie in my opinion. Now obviously this came out in 2008. We can look at the critics ratings for this. Google again, 90% people love this movie. It just goes to show again, another great movie which a lot of people generally love, but then the critics really just boot it down. We have IMDb giving it a 6.9 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 55%, and then we have Metacritic giving it 51. It's got nominated for 2 awards and won 3 awards. I don't know how that works out, but that actually worked out like that. And the budget was 65 million estimated, of course, and it worked out to basically gain 128 million. So it just goes to show the box office, it done great. A lot of people love these two, love the story. It's such a cheesy, great comedy movie of 2 brothers or stepbrothers getting to know each other, torment each other and love each other. And I think the director Adam McKay done a great job with this movie, and I don't know why it's seriously underrated and overlooked as a movie. More so underrated than overlooked though. Coming in at number 7 is a Liam Neeson film. No, it is not Taken. This movie is called A Walk Among the Tombstones. In my opinion, this is Liam Neeson's best film yet. He really takes on a character which is sort of similar to Taken. He's obviously a detective, a alcoholic detective as well, and it's about a really famous book as well. They've made it into a movie. It's about Matt Scudder, a detective who's an alcoholic, and tries to solve this crime and stuff. But really, the 2 sickos that are in here, obviously, like cutting women up and doing a lot of dirty stuff to them, and it's a pure filthy movie. This came out in 2014, a mystery thriller action movie, of course. It is superb. It really is. Director Scott Frank done a great job with this, and the ratings again just goes to show 89% Google users love this. It got 6.5 from IMDb, a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 57 on Metacritic. It did get nominated only for 1 award. It didn't win the award, unfortunately, but really it is a solid storyline. And the box office was 28 million. Only a small budget, but it really rounded up about 53.1 million in the box office. So it done really well for itself with that small budget. And yeah, I really don't understand. And as I said, I think this is Liam Neeson's best performance yet as a character on a screen. I really enjoy it, because not only is it Liam Neeson's performance, it's the cinematography, the way it's shot. It looks like an independent movie, but it's really not. It's just so beautifully shot, so beautifully edited. The score's great, and not only that, you've got David Harbour in here as one of them sicko creeps, and he does so great in this movie as well. If you haven't checked it out, guys, this movie is overlooked and underrated. Do give it a watch. At number 6, guys, we have a movie from Robin Williams, the man himself. He's such a great actor, great performer, great comedian, whatever you want to call him. He's just so great. And this movie is called What Dreams May Come. This is a beautiful story, a beautiful movie. Can be quite sad, but there is a good side to it as well. And I love the fact that it's a mixed movie, and it really makes you think about life in general, about love, about friendship, and obviously the afterlife and stuff like that. It really gets you thinking. I really do like that. It's a drama, romantic, adventure type movie. It came out in 1998. It's just under 2 hours long, and again, if you look at the ratings just like this one, it's 92% like this movie on Google. It got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. It got a Rotten Tomatoes score of 54% and a Metacritic score of 44%. It won 1 Oscar, just goes to show how great this movie is. It got 2 nominations and 6 wins. Really great movie. And really worth a watch. It really is. Box office, it got a budget of 85 million, only really raking in 55 million, not doing really great on the worldwide gross. That's the one movie that hasn't done well for itself, but really the story is great. I'll quickly read the synopsis for you guys. Chris Nielsen dies in a car crash one night and then goes to heaven. Later, his widow Annie commits suicide, unable to overcome her loss. Chris descends into hell to save her. Now that story sounds very straight to the point, but really the movie is so much more than that. I recommend you guys giving it a watch. Again, another one of Robin Williams movies which really isn't recognised as much and really isn't rated high either, which really should be. Into that top 5 now. At number 5, we have a horror movie finally. And now a lot of you horror fans out there will definitely know this movie. It is definitely a good movie for sure. It is Hostel. Hostel is a great movie that came out in 2005. Very, very unique in its storyline and how it approached this movie. And obviously has that Saw similarity in terms of gruesome stuff, which I really do enjoy as well sometimes. The percentage on Google is a little bit lower than most of the other movies. It is 78%. But really, when you look at these critic ratings, it is absolutely disgusting for this movie, which is generally quite an enjoyable movie. Eli Roth is the director here, doing a great job, of course, but the ratings the critics gave it were 5.9 from IMDb, a 55% on Metacritic, and a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. Really, really bad for a movie which got nominated for 12 awards, winning 4. It done okay in the awards, not too great. And then we look at the box office. It got a 4.8 million budget, making 80.5 million. That really is a great success at the box office, and really the cast do a great job in this movie. It simply is a couple backpackers go into a city that promises that you meet your expectations, women and stuff like that. You basically, erotic, sexual stuff happen with no idea of what's about to happen to them pretty much. And what happens is gruesome, it is great, it is unique in every single horror way possible. And what really is gutting is that, again, it is so rated. This is obviously, I think, the lowest rated movie on this list so far. And yeah, it's really dreadful that it's so low rated, and not a lot of people have generally watched it either. Coming in at number 4, guys, this movie came out in 1995. It's a fantasy thriller action adventure movie, and this movie is Jumanji. Now, Jumanji was a great movie from my childhood. I remember watching it, and I more so loved the original than the newer ones. Obviously, Robin Williams in the original doing a great job, of course. I really do love his performance in this. He really is charismatic with whatever movie he takes on, and it generally just is so enjoyable. Now, if we look at the original compared to the new one, I prefer it because, yes, the new one is more modern, it's all video games, whereas this one's more board games. It makes it feel like you was a child again, which I really did enjoy, and the whole adventure element around with these two kids, which were really great in the movie as well. And it sort of felt like that family, because the family were obviously that come together were going through this problem, and it's such a kid's adventurous story, which is so great, of course, about this magic board game and everything's coming to life. It's just so great. Of course, this got a 92% of people that like this on Google. It got a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, which ain't bad. It's probably about 7, between a 7 and a 7.5, I'd give it. And then you look at Rotten Tomatoes with a 54% and Metacritic with a 39. That's where it starts to go downhill for me, because I think a 7, a 7.5 is sort of around where it should be. It got 10 nominations for awards and 4 wins, which isn't great, but it's near enough half. So that's the way you got to look at it. It done okay. And then the box office, it had $65 million for a budget, and then it actually collected a worldwide gross of 262.8 million. That is a massive smash at the box office. This is such a great movie which is overlooked. It's unbelievable. I don't know how people can watch a new one and not have seen the original, because it's so great. It holds that old movie type look with such a great, unique, original idea, which is just so great, and really a great job to the director and the writers with this movie. Getting into that top 3 now, guys, we have The Last Action Hero. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger in this kids' teenage fantasy action adventure movie. Again, really it is something special. Really it is, this movie. This came out in 1993. 94% of Google users love this movie. Again, another highly liked, but the ratings just don't meet what it should. A 6.4 from IMDb, a 36% on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as 44 on Metascore. Now, this is the worst awards in terms of winnings, because this got nominated for 16, which I think is the highest so far on this list, and only won 1 award. So it didn't do great in terms of awards. We look at the box office, it got 85 million budget, and it actually collected in 137.2, near enough 137.3 million at the box office. So it done a great job in terms of raking in money. So yeah, overall you got Arnold Schwarzenegger in there. Let's start with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is one of my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, because this is him having fun with a movie, not being the action-packed superhero which we know. Of course he's action-packed in some of the scenes because he is the action hero, but really he got to have fun with this. He had a connection with a kid in the movie, and it really was a great duo chemistry, and it was just a fun idea. Obviously, with the help of a magic ticket, pretty much, a young movie fan's life is transported into the fictional world rather than being in the real world, and with his favourite action hero, pretty much. And that is just such a cool concept, especially in the time it was made. It's just great. I really do recommend it if you haven't seen it. Coming in at number 2 is another kids movie, of course. A lot of these are kids movies because these are around the early 90s, which I remember, of course, and really tend to enjoy. But this was the movie that came out in 1998 called Small Soldiers. It was absolutely great. It was under 2 hours long. 95% of Google users love this movie because it is such an epic movie, which is very similar to Toy Story, but in a more action comic book type way. It really is, and really enjoyable. Now, the ratings, again, obviously knowing that it got 95% liked on Google, we've got IMDb giving it a 6.2 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes with a 48%. Metacritic actually haven't rated this movie, but Empire have given it a 3 out of 5 on the rating. So let's have a look into the box office and the budget quickly. It got nominated for 4 awards, winning 3 awards, so that's actually quite good. I think it done well there. Then the box office, it had 40 million estimated budget, and it actually raked in about 34.5 million. So it didn't do as amazing in the box office compared to some of the other movies, but for a movie that's animation, which really changed the game in my opinion for animation, and it was just absolutely great. And I remember this came out a couple of days before my birthday, and I was only young, and I remember my dad actually getting this on DVD, or tape should I say, at the time, and actually we sat there and watched it together. It was absolutely great, and really, again, it's got a great cast behind it. There was so much comedy in here, I remember as well. Which, guys, if you've watched Toy Story and you're just a massive animation fan, don't forget to check out Small Soldiers. You won't be disappointed. The most underrated and overlooked movie at number 1 is Jingle All The Way, a Christmas movie, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger playing in it again. This movie is amazing. This is one of my most watched movies at Christmas, under Home Alone, of course. This is great. You've got Home Alone, Grinch, Jingle All The Way. That's my list of how I watch every Christmas. It is just so epic. It really is. It's got some great comedy in it. It's got the family storyline in there, and it's just got a bunch of great Arnold Schwarzenegger lines and great conversations and everything you want in a Christmas movie for sure. And this came out in 1996. It's just about an hour and a half. This got 92% liked on Google users. Again, a lot of people generally like this movie, and rightfully so. This got a 5.6 at IMDb, but here we go. This is where it gets tough. 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow, how low. And then 34 on Metacritic. That is terrible. It really is, compared to like the ratings and stuff it should get. It got nominated for 4 awards, winning 2, half of what it was nominated for, so it done okay there. And the box office was $60 million estimated for the budget, and it raked in about just under 130 million. So it done really great again on raking in some good money for a great Christmas movie. And basically it's about a father promising his son a action doll which he wanted, which is a superhero doll called Turbo Man. And pretty much he has to go through everything to try and get this superhero. And what he goes through to get this superhero basically toy is unbelievable. And what the twist is at the end of how he makes it up to his son and stuff like that is just pure great family fun. Really it is. It really is fun. I recommend you guys, if you haven't watched it, maybe even check it out at Christmas. Put it on your checklist to watch for Christmas. So guys, that is my top 10 overlooked and underrated movies in my opinion. Don't forget to let me know yours in the comment section down below, and let me know if you agree or disagree with my picks. As well as guys, of course, smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Helps the channel out, helps me out, and helps the video out. Of course, I'm really grateful. If you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting that bell for much more awesome movies and TV series content. We've got a bunch of stuff already on the channel which you guys can go ahead and check out, as well as there's much more to come when it comes to overrated, overlooked and underrated stuff. We're going to be doing that series where, as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to start with 1990 and go up to 91, 92, 93 and go all the way through, all the way up to the 2019 and look at the overrated, underrated as well as overlooked movies. So stay tuned for that and much more awesome content when it comes to reviewing stuff, ranking stuff from the worst to the best, as well as trailer reactions. So subscribe and hit the bell, you will not be disappointed. Thank you very much for watching guys. I've been me, you've been you, and I'll see you next time guys on Talking with Jay Springett.